Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to our channel, a place where we share long and beautiful stories that can make your heart feel warm, that can give you hope, and that can show you that love and kindness are powerful in this world. Today, I want you to take some time, sit comfortably, and listen to a journey about two people who were not perfect, who had their own pain and mistakes, but who learned that love, forgiveness, and second chances can change everything in life. If you are ready to fight for them and not give up, this story will take you into the busy and colorful city of Mumbai, a city that is always alive with lights, noise, and people moving in every direction, a place where dreams can be born, but also where hearts can be broken. In this city lived a man named Ayan. He was 28 years old and he was a musician. Ayan's heart was full of dreams, but it also carried many scars from the past. He was not like other people who were calm and careful. He could be wild, he could be reckless, and when he became angry, it was like a sudden storm, quick and strong. But deep inside, behind the strong and sometimes rough way of being, there was something fragile and hurt, something no one could truly understand. The only thing that always stayed with Ayan, the only thing that never left him, was his music. Music was like his closest friend, his safe place, the thing that helped him breathe when life felt too heavy. Every evening he would play his guitar in small local clubs, letting the sound speak for him, and on weekends he would drink too much, trying to hide from his feelings, never letting anyone get too close because he did not want to be hurt again. One night, something happened that would slowly change his life. Ayan was playing at a small club, the room filled with people talking, laughing, and listening. At the back of the room sat a young woman named Sarah. Sarah was 25 years old, and she was very different from Ayan. She was calm, quiet, and she had a gentle smile that seemed to bring light into even the darkest corners. Sarah worked as a librarian, and she loved books so much that sometimes she preferred reading to talking to people. Like Ayan, Sarah had also been hurt in her life. Her father had passed away when she was still a child, and her mother had raised her alone. Because of this, Sarah had learned to protect her heart. She believed that trusting people too easily would only bring pain. When Sarah saw Ayan that night, playing his guitar, her eyes stayed on him, not because of the noise or the energy, but because she felt there was something in his music that was real, something honest. And Ayan noticed her too. Even with so many people in the room, his eyes found her sitting quietly, holding her drink, and looking at him as if she could see past all the chaos into who he truly was. After the performance, Ayan walked over to her. He wiped the sweat from his forehead, his guitar still hanging from his shoulder, and he looked at her with curiosity. "You look like you are lost," he said in his deep voice. Sarah gave a small smile and replied softly, "Maybe I am." That short exchange was the start of something neither of them could explain. Ayan, who had never truly believed in love, found himself thinking about Sarah, and Sarah, who had always kept her distance from people, found herself slowly wanting to know more about this wild and broken musician. Their relationship was not perfect. In fact, it was full of both happy and difficult moments. Sometimes Ayan would lose his temper over small things and then come back the next day with flowers, trying to make things right. Sarah, with her patience, would try to understand him even when he pushed her away. They had moments of laughter, moments of deep conversation, and moments of pain. But they kept finding their way back to each other. One evening, after a bad performance, Ayan came home very late and very drunk. Sarah had been waiting for him for hours, her heart full of worry. When he walked in, she asked him if he even cared. He shouted that he had never asked her to wait. His words hurt her deeply, and she stood there frozen with tears in her eyes. But then, in a rush of emotions, Ayan stepped forward and kissed her for the first time. It was a kiss filled with love, anger, and longing all at once, and for a moment, all the noise around them disappeared. Months passed, and their love became like a beautiful storm, unpredictable but full of life. Ayan began to write songs inspired by Sarah. She was becoming the light in his life. But with love also came fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of not being good enough for her. One night, as they sat on the rooftop looking over the city, Ayan told her that she was the most important thing in his life, but he was afraid he would ruin everything. Sarah reassured him, saying they were not perfect people, but together they could be perfect for each other. For the first time in years, Ayan felt truly peaceful. But Ayan had a past filled with mistakes and people he had hurt, and one part of that past suddenly returned. One evening after a successful show, Ayan received a message from someone named Ria. She was a woman he had once loved deeply, but who had left him without a word, breaking his heart. The message said she wanted to talk. Ayan did not know if he should tell Sarah, but he feared it would hurt her. Still, the weight of the secret began to grow. Sarah soon noticed that Ayan was distant. When she asked, he admitted that someone from his past had returned. When he said the name Ria, Sarah felt her stomach drop. She had heard the name before in passing, and now she realized that this was the woman who had once broken Ayan's heart. Ayan insisted he did not love Ria anymore, but the doubt had already entered Sarah's heart. Ayan decided to meet Ria at a small cafe, hoping to close that chapter forever. But Sarah, feeling uneasy, followed him and saw them together. Her heart broke when she saw how close they were sitting. She confronted him, accusing him of lying. Ayan tried to explain, saying he only wanted to end things for good, but Sarah could not listen through the pain. She left him, feeling betrayed. Days turned into weeks, and Ayan felt lost without Sarah. He began writing a song for her, pouring all his pain and regret into it. One rainy night, he stood outside her apartment and played the song, his voice trembling as he begged for another chance. Sarah heard him and came down, still unsure if she could trust him again. They stood in the rain, and Ayan promised that Ria was his past, but Sarah was his future. Just as they were beginning to reconnect, Ria appeared again, trying to convince Ayan to come back to her. Ria even played a recording from their meeting, where there had been a short silence before Ayan had said no. That silence made Sarah wonder if he had thought about saying yes. The doubt returned, and Sarah pulled away, saying she did not know what to believe. Ayan dropped to his knees, begging her not to let Ria win. Seeing him so vulnerable, Sarah realized that love was not about being perfect, but about fighting for each other. She told him she still loved him, and they embraced as Ria walked away, defeated. From that day, Ayan and Sarah worked to rebuild trust. They spent more time together, were completely honest, and slowly healed. They took a trip to the mountains, where Ayan played her a new song, not about pain, but about the beauty of their love. Sarah smiled, knowing they had survived the worst. Months later, Ria tried once more to reach Ayan, but this time he stood firm, telling her that Sarah was the one he loved, and that nothing would change that. Ria finally accepted it and left for good. With the past behind them, Ayan and Sarah's love grew stronger. One quiet morning, Ayan took out a small velvet box, opened it to show a simple ring, and asked Sarah to marry him. With tears of happiness, she said yes. They kissed as the sun rose, ready to start the next chapter of their life together, knowing that their story had been full of storms, but that love had always been strong enough to guide them home.